Hey there, it's Enderverse. 8 months ago, we began our new series showcasing old-gen mods. And here we are again with the second episode. This time around, I shifted my focus to huge terrain generation mods, as well as mods with unique procedural features. Now without any further ado, let's dive into the video. First on the list, we have an insanely detailed and realistic world generation mod called Tellus. By realistic, I mean actually lifelike, as these terrains are based on the scale of Earth, with you being able to choose a precise location, like your own town, and generate its geology on the game. The implementation was quite playable and constant. Based on the location you choose, you could find yourself surrounded by mountains or walking on a completely flat surface. I can only imagine the things y'all could do with this mod. Next, we have Epic Structures Jungle Temples. This is a mod enhancing these boring pyramids. They will now become majestic mine temples with so many smaller structures around. Exploring these temples, you will discover different kinds of rooms with unique interior designs as well as a mountain of zombies to clear. The author has designed 3 different variants for the jungle temples, small ones and whole cities with bridges, monuments, towers, and more, effectively populating the jungle biome and making it less barren and more interesting to explore. Grim Kingdoms is perfect for people wanting to create a dark medieval mod pack. It features an assortment of well-built structures and even cities from the Middle Ages. The structures here can be found in so many different biomes. Their building blocks and architecture will also adjust to their surroundings. They're also well optimized, merging perfectly with the terrain and not overlapping with other structures. The author also cooked when it came to the interiors. There are different rooms with varying designs and paintings. You could also meet some of the residents here. Could be friendly residents like Lumi the cat, or evil ones like armored skeletons and wither skeletons dealing huge amounts of damage. I like this mod very much, and my favorite part about it was this town with the hot air balloons and all. Try it out, friend. You will simply never run out of structures to explore with this mod on. RoadWeaver is the first on the list to implement procedural generation to the world, and this time it's paths that connect structures together. These paths are very aesthetic. They feature light posts to prevent hostile mobs from spawning, as well as seamless wall generation adapting to hills and mountains, along with beautiful bridges should water get in the way. You can open up the paths map to see a world view of paths currently generated and the structures between them. Right now, only vanilla structures are covered. However, mods that improve the structures, like better villages for example, support the paths. I really loved walking along these paths and seeing what's ahead, and only wish for a more sophisticated function where the mod adapts to structures added by other mods, as well as the ability to make paths for your own structures. But I'm super happy with its current state. It is stable and exciting. Dungeon Train is a very unique mod on the list. It has a working train that travels along an infinite railway. Having just looted the world, you'll observe a nice cinematic intro before beginning your adventure. Every train chamber is quite different from the rest, and the more you advance, the stronger the enemies and the better you loot. You can also meet plenty of NPCs aboard the train and even outside of it, making for an eventful and unpredictable journey. This mod was built with Sable, so the terrain is actually fully physical, not to mention how smooth and flawless the procedural generation here is. You expect such mods to break after 5 minutes or less, but this terrain keeps going with no stuttering or lag. Amazing optimization from the author, and one-of-a-kind experience for your friend, so don't miss it out. If you want a simpler, more vanilla-friendly alternative to Grim Structures mod, look no further than the Ember's castles and keeps. This mod adds only a handful of medieval structures, but they look very good and feature special interiors with custom vanilla mobs and Illager journals breaking down the situation with the raids. The loot here is pretty casual, but some of these structures can feature rare items such as sniffer eggs and armor trims, so they're worth breaking into. These structures aren't so abundant and aren't that big either, so I doubt they will destabilize your world generation or put pressure on your server. Give it a try if you are running on a budget and don't want to spend more on extra RAM and storage. Moog's Mineshafts overhauls and sometimes completely changes the world generation of these underground channels. What made this mod special is how it generates a surface structure with trains, cranes, and holes from which you climb down to the mineshaft itself. Mineshafts are also going to be a lot more detailed with this mod on, and you will find them completely enclosed and do not leak out into the caves like the vanilla ones. Moog even designed nether mineshafts, again featuring surface station and enclosed tunnels. These mineshafts in particular feature abundant amounts of gold, which befits the nature of their surroundings. This mod easily beats the competition in every way possible. The surface stations are genius, and the tunnels themselves stable and coherent, making for an awesome experience. Streams Reflowing adds procedurally generated cascades and waterfalls around the world, which enhances the ambience quite a lot and ease water navigation, as these waterfalls erode their way as rivers and extend all the way to the ocean. This mod is compatible and is actually meant to be paired with the Tellus mod since it features nice hills and tall mountains, providing ideal conditions for these natural elements to form. So it's highly recommended that you try the two together. Also, as you can see, the mod features a waterfall visual effect. I wanted to disable it and add in the particular mod instead, but it seems no matter how many times I change the configs, they go right back to default values. I hope the author fixes this. Another mod enhancing vanilla structures is Epic Structures Igloo. This mod replaced the vanilla igloos with different new variants that you will encounter. The most prominent is the Big Igloo. This one includes paths, traps, underground tunnels, different rooms with loot chests, and of course the villager curing chamber, only this time with an advanced mechanism and a higher number of living subjects to test on. The other types of igloos are similar in size to the one we're used to, only featuring a bridge or a statue on top, along with bits of previous residents and a few useful blocks like ruin sands. I love the diversity of this mod, as well as its accuracy in capturing what an underground lab would look like. Try it out if you want a vanilla friendly and server-sided upgrade to the igloos in Minecraft. Another one of Moog's mods on the list is Moog's Bountiful Structures. This is a project dedicated to the well-known Biomes of Plenty mod, integrating some of its blocks to build simple structures scattered across the world, from shipment carts, stables, hats with the Biomes of Plenty spiderwebs beneath it, plus a lot more. Despite being constrained to the Biomes of Plenty mod, this project did succeed due to its simplicity and impact, along with of course the massive amount of players using Biomes of Plenty mod. Create Sky Village is an incredible integration mod tailored specifically for the Create mod. Flying to this island, all sorts of contraptions and Create related buildings can be seen, from brass statues, water wheels, windmills, liquid tanks, chain conveyors, plus a few more. These structures weren't cramped together. When looking at the island from far, it looks aesthetic and coherent. Exploring this island on foot, you can loot the chest for a lot of Create blocks and items, helping you kickstart your Create adventure if it's your first time trying it. This mod is great, however it suffers from a bug that being duplicate islands. They can be seen spawning extremely close to each other, sometimes even overlapping one another. However, from my testing I discovered that the Sparse Structures mod fixes this issue, so make sure to have it installed on your modpack. 15 years after having been patched and people still talk about the Farlands. Everyone wished Mojang had kept them in the game instead of replacing them with world borders. This mod will grant that wish for us all, reintroducing the Farlands to Minecraft. To get here, you'll have to travel a little over 12 million blocks, an unreasonable distance, but you can configure it down if you wish, though that would defeat the point of the Farlands. There is a certain beauty in these barren hollow chunks. I immediately felt the need to enter them and see what's hidden on those crevices. I believe that's what made people so attached to the Farlands and why everyone wanted them back. So try this mod out, my friend. It will motivate you to explore your world to its limit. Just make sure you disable the C2ME mod. It's incompatible with the Farlands. This next mod will decorate the ocean with a small number of structures, from surface structures such as ships armed with villagers, to abandoned ocean monuments exposed to the surface, to underground structures like ocean temples and palaces, along with underwater pillager outposts surrounded with drowned zombies. As you can see, this mod is quite simple and is on par with the vanilla essence. No new blocks or mobs are added, nor is there any huge structures that can overlap into the terrain and spoil the ocean basins, making this mod an ideal option for bare-boned vanilla servers, as people can just join the server without having any mods at all. Scorched is a mod enhancing the world generation of deserts in Minecraft. The author focused mainly on vanilla structures, overhauling the desert temples from within. They now feature new types of traps, as well as a tough boss fight, and then also some new treasury to loot. You may also stumble across Badlands temples with pretty much the same traps and interiors. The general terrain generation was also altered. There will be oasis biomes with palm trees and small lakes, along with increased amount of cactus and dead trees. Additionally, there are improved desert wells with a more detailed outlook. In spite of the boss fight and some functional features I didn't talk about, this mod remains server-sided, all thanks to it being a data pack. So, make sure to add it to your list, my friend. Feur Extension Jungle is a mod you could use in place of the epic structures jungle temples. It enhances those structures but in a subtler way. The jungle pyramids are now a lot bigger and they feature simple interiors with similar traps and moderate challenges. There are also different new structures like a monument made out of statues, a massive watermelon, and even a treehouse, which is my favorite. Between the two, it's really up to preference. If you prefer simplicity, this one is the obvious winner. If you like grand structures, then go for the epic structures jungle temples. Whichever you like, my friend. Big Globe is another mod generating terrains of gigantic scale, and I have to admit, this one is the biggest thus far. Opposite to Tellus, the terrains here are mostly fantastic, as you will be seeing unique terrain generation that has nothing to do with Earth's geology. As large as it is, the author managed to seamlessly merge the biomes together and keep them from overlapping or appearing broken. However, vanilla structures aside, this mod doesn't support much or any structures mod sadly. But don't worry, there are literally over 40 add-ons bridging various world generation mods to Big Globe, so you will most likely find your preferred world gen mod amongst them. Big Globe is definitely a game changer when it comes to large-scale terrain generation. I'd only wish that instead of installing 40 add-ons, the mod could slowly build native support for other world generation mods. Many people, myself included, have suffered from big structures overlapping one another or overlapping the terrain itself. This mod works behind the background to solve this issue, distancing structures from one another and stationing them coherently on the world. This way the world appears naturally populated and good looking. This next mod is aptly called Structures and Exploration. The author here focused on miscellaneous small buildings scattered around the world. The most special of these are the swings, the fort where you'll encounter a live battle between iron golems and villagers, along with villager statues over the hills. There are also new structures on the end, as well as the nether too. This is yet again a tiny and harmless world gen mod to have in your game, and it also has plenty of houses too, some of them perfectly fit for inhabiting, so you could take one as your starter house. Better Trees is a mod changing the trees in Minecraft to be taller and bushier, effectively covering the entire forest from the sun, similar to real life trees. New forests look dazzling, and the structure of the tree changed biome to biome, which prevent it from being repetitive and boring. Naturally, you will need a tree harvester mod to lumber these trees without losing your mind, as they can have so many branches and are generally very tall that you would go mad trying to climb and take it down manually. I really love the forests with this mod on, and luckily for us, it was updated for the latest versions only 2 weeks ago, and it's incredible since this was on a 9-month hiatus. And last but not least, we have Big Lost City. This mod adds a number of abandoned structures themed around the post-apocalyptic style. There are wrecked buildings massively tall, warehouses with shipment trucks inside, nuclear reactors with cooling ponds beneath and a chest at the middle, plus a lot more. These structures are extremely detailed. The outside as well as the inside are decorated with many different blocks, helping to paint the perfect post-apocalypse outlook. Make sure to try this mod out if you are trying to simulate a zombie apocalypse pack. It does have some overlapping issues, but they're easily solvable with the Overlapless mod or the Sparse Structures mod. Thanks for watching. Last episode featured 20 more world gen mods. Be sure to check it out if you are still researching your modpack's terrain generation mods. Also, subscribe and turn on the bell if you are enjoying my videos. And I'll see ya in the next one, my friend.